Cesar continued racing toward him like a freight train, promising certain death with a booming voice that sounded like a concrete mixer. Between the threats, Nick could hear Cesar cursing in Spanish as he thundered through the doorway, heedless of the crackling flames. The dealer must be coked up and operating on adrenaline, even as he was bleeding out. Nick tried to check the clip on the cig, but his right hand was now completely numb, and he was never more grateful to be ambidextrous. Once he was able to switch hands with the gun and wrap his left index finger back around the trigger, he was out of ammo. Perfect. Cesar's progress slowed. The freight train was finally running low on steam, but the dealer still had an AK-47 with plenty of bullets. He stumbled and tripped. When the man fell, he was practically on top of Nick, and the impact was like being hit by a Mack truck. The room shook. Cesar's assault rifle skittered across the floor. This was Nick's chance, but he couldn't move. The stitches across his abdomen had torn when he rolled off the gurney. Blood seeped from new wounds at his shoulder. He and Cesar lay side by side, Nick's own blood mingled with the drug dealer's. Cesar's lips were blood-stained as he whispered just loud enough for Nick to hear.
"They're coming after yours, and you can't stop them."
The dying man laughed, his laughter changing to a cough as his damaged lungs filled with blood. Even so, he managed to rasp out one last threat.
"It's personal now. Your family'll be dead in 6 weeks.
The shocking words were meant to taunt, a final insult. Cesar never would have spoken if he hadn't thought Nick was dying too. Nick struggled to sit up, and Cesar's eyes widened in surprise. Obviously, he hadn't been expecting Nick to move. Nick leaned close to the downed man's ear. "My family will be fine. I always see to it." Cesar's eyes closed for the last time, and Nick heard another deep rumble starting farther back in the building. Damn. He recognized that sound. He glanced at the door, seemingly 1,000 miles away. He'd never make it. He looked back at Cesar, dead now in a puddle of blood. The dealer's dying threat galvanized him to action. He rolled toward the wall, wrenching himself to his feet. His vision swam, and blood seeped into his eyes, but he hung on and moved his ass. Whatever happened, he was getting out. There was no other option. Nick Donovan took care of his family. Chapter 1. Mid-December, 10 days to Christmas, Thursday evening, Dallas, Texas. Dr. Jennifer Grayson backed into the driveway and turned off the ignition. Her day from hell was almost over. She'd always enjoyed the last week before Christmas break, but not this year. Newly divorced and alone in a town she hadn't lived in since college, Christmas felt like something to be endured, not celebrated. As a Southern Methodist University professor, this week of final exams had been unmitigated insanity. Her graduate students were bug-nuts crazy, obsessing over their final course grades and how they would affect internship opportunities. Lord, give her clueless college freshmen partying their brains out any day. Maybe part of her was just plain depressed. Her final divorce papers had been in the mailbox earlier this week. Due to the financial strain dissolving a marriage induced, she'd had to cancel her sabbatical this spring for the Paleo Niger project and its fully intact Jobaria dinosaur. Withdrawing from the Russ Foundation's trip had cut deeper than the divorce itself. That a philandering husband was less disappointing than a canceled paleontology dig certainly testified to the state of her marriage to begin with, even before Colin's affair with his grad student and the bimbo's subsequent pregnancy. That last bit had particularly burned. Practically everyone in her department had received the birth announcement today from Colin and his baby mama. Jennifer